The Afrika Korps has been defeated. General Kurt Fischer, 52, exhausted and covered in dust, stands with his hands raised. American soldiers surround him. His aide, Colonel Hans Brandt, 45, stands beside him, equally defeated. Voiceover, elderly Fischer. I had commanded 40,000 men. I had fought across 3 continents. And now I was a prisoner. We all knew what happened to generals who fell into enemy hands. We would be interrogated, tortured, and executed. That was the way of war. German officers, including 3 generals and dozens of colonels, stand on deck under guard. They're gaunt, frightened, silent. General Wilhelm Schneider, 58, the highest-ranking officer, stares at the horizon. COL, Brandt to Fischer, quietly. Do you think they'll shoot us on arrival? Or make it slower? Gen. Fischer, either way, we die with dignity. That's all we have left. Gen. Schneider, overhearing. I've heard Americans are worse than the Russians. They torture first, then display your corpse as propaganda. An American guard walks by, young, friendly-looking. He nods politely. The German officers tense, confused by the civility. A pristine military installation. The German generals arrive by truck, expecting the worst. Instead, they see neat rows of small bungalows, each with gardens. Colonel James Peterson, 38, the camp commander, stands at attention. COL, Peterson, gentlemen, welcome to Camp Clinton. Under the Geneva Convention, you will be treated with the respect your rank deserves. The German generals exchange bewildered glances. COL, Peterson counted, each general will have his own bungalow with a private bedroom, sitting area, and bathroom. Officers of colonel rank will share quarters. You'll have access to recreational facilities, a library, and a canteen. Gen. Schneider, suspicious, in accented English. And the interrogation? COL, Peterson, already completed during your initial processing. You're no longer combatants. You're prisoners, and we treat our prisoners well. Fischer enters his private quarters, shocked. A real bed with clean sheets. A desk. A window with curtains. A private bathroom. He sits on the bed, disbelieving, then his eyes fill with tears. The German officers sit at long tables. American cooks begin serving food. The Germans stare, stunned, as plates arrive. Roast beef, mashed potatoes, vegetables, fresh bread, butter. COL, Brandt, whispering to Fischer, this is more food than I've seen in 6 months. Gen. Fischer, it's a trick. They're fattening us up before. American cook, approaching, evening, gentlemen. We've got apple pie for dessert tonight. Also, the general asked me to inform you that wine will be served with dinner, as per Geneva Convention protocols for general officers. He walks away. The German officers sit in stunned silence. Gen. Schneider, finally, wine? There, they're giving us wine? Fischer sits across from Peterson. Not an interrogation, a conversation. COL, Peterson, General, I wanted to discuss your living arrangements. If there's anything you need, books, writing materials, additional blankets, please let me know. Gen. Fischer, carefully, Colonel, why are you treating us like this? COL, Peterson, because that's what civilized nations do, General. You're not our enemy anymore. You're men who need shelter, food, and dignity while this war sorts itself out. Gen. Fischer, in Germany, American prisoners. COL, Peterson, interrupting gently. I know how Germany treats its prisoners, General. Some camps better than others. But we're not Germany. We're America. And we believe in treating people humanely, even in war. Fischer's composure cracks slightly. Gen. Fischer, I expected to die. COL, Peterson, instead, you're going to live. Maybe learn something about the country you were fighting against. Now tell me, do you prefer coffee or tea in the morning? AEXT, bungalow gardens, various days. German generals tend flower gardens outside their quarters. Officers play chess under trees. A general paints landscapes on an easel. Officers read American books and newspapers. B&. Recreation hall day. Ping-pong games between German officers. A lecture series on American history. Theater performances in German. Musical concerts with instruments provided by the camp. CEXT, dining area. Thanksgiving 1944. American guards and German officers share Thanksgiving dinner. Turkey, stuffing, cranberry sauce, pumpkin pie. Awkward but genuine conversation. General Fischer approaches Colonel Peterson, who's inspecting the grounds. Gen. Fischer, Colonel, may I speak frankly? Col. Peterson, of course. Gen. Fischer, when we arrived, I asked for bread. I would have been grateful for stale bread. Instead, you gave us steak, grilled sandwiches, wine, fresh vegetables. I gained 30 pounds in 3 months. He pauses, emotional. Gen. Fischer counted why. Why this kindness? Col. Peterson, because we're trying to win 2 wars, General. The one on the battlefield, and the one for the soul of humanity. If we become monsters to defeat monsters, what have we won? Gen. Fischer, quietly. Everything I was told about America, it was a lie. Col. Peterson, most propaganda is. The 3 German generals gather privately, Fischer, Schneider, and General Otto Man 49. Gen. Schneider, the Americans are treating us better than our own army treated us. Better than we treated our own men. Gen. Man. They give us more food than we had in the Wehrmacht. They call us by our names. They respect our rank. Gen. Fischer, I've been thinking about the camps we ran. The prisoners we held. Did we show them this dignity? Uncomfortable silence. Gen. Schneider, no. We did not. Gen. Fischer, then we fought for the wrong side. The statement hangs in the air, treasonous in wartime, but undeniable in this place. Fischer reads an American newspaper. Colonel Brandt enters. Col. Brandt, what are you reading? Gen. Fischer, stories about the American war effort. How they're shipping food to Britain. How they're building hospitals in France. How they're trying to feed everyone, even their enemies. He looks up. Gen. Fischer counted. We were told Americans were weak, decadent, selfish. But they're feeding us while their own people are rationed. They're housing us in better conditions than their own soldiers sometimes have. What does that say about us, Hans? What does that say about what we believed? News arrives. Germany has surrendered. The German officers gather in stunned silence. Col. Peterson, addressing the assembled Germans, gentlemen, the war in Europe is over. You'll be repatriated within the next year, once arrangements can be made. Murmurs of distress among the Germans. Gen. Man standing. Colonel Peterson, what will we return to? Col. Peterson, honestly? A country in ruins. There's severe food shortage. Destroyed cities. It will be difficult. Gen. Schneider, bitterly. We asked for bread, and you gave us steak. We return to Germany, and we'll be lucky to find crumbs. A special farewell dinner for the German officers being repatriated. American guards and German prisoners sit together, former enemies. Now something more complex. Col. Peterson, standing with a glass. Gentlemen, in a few days you'll begin your journey home. I won't pretend it will be easy, but I hope you remember your time here. Not because we want your gratitude, but because we want you to remember that enemies can choose kindness. That war doesn't have to destroy our humanity. He raises his glass. Col. Peterson counted to peace. May you find it, wherever you go. German officers raising glasses to peace. German officers line up to board transport trucks. General Fischer shakes hands with Colonel Peterson. Gen. Fischer, Colonel, I want you to know, you changed my life. You showed me what I should have been fighting for all along. Col. Peterson, what was that, General? Gen. Fischer, a world where asking for bread gets you steak. Where enemies can become friends. Where humanity wins. He salutes, not a Nazi salute, but an American military salute. Peterson returns it. Col. Peterson, good luck, General. Build that world in Germany. Gen. Fischer, I'll try. God knows, someone has to. Fischer sits with Schneider and Mann, watching the American countryside pass by. Gen. Schneider, what will you tell people back home? Gen. Fischer, the truth. That we fought for lies. That our enemies showed us more mercy than our leaders ever did. That America isn't what we were told. Gen. Man, they'll call us traitors. Gen. Fischer, maybe. But we'll be free men. And we'll know the difference between propaganda and reality. During World War II, over 425,000 German POWs were held in the United States. 3 admirals and 40 generals were held at Camp Clinton and Camp Shelby in Mississippi. each with his own bungalow and garden. Under the Geneva Convention, they received the same rations as American soldiers, including wine for general officers and special meals for holidays. Many German POWs gained significant weight during their captivity, some as much as 50+ pounds, due to the quality and quantity of food provided. When asked for bread, they received steak, grilled sandwiches, fresh vegetables, beer, cigarettes, and even ice cream. After repatriation, approximately 5,000 German POWs returned to America permanently, having seen firsthand the values of freedom and democracy. One former POW later wrote, "We were treated so well that we became convinced Democrats, not through propaganda, but through kindness." The American treatment of German POWs stands as a testament to the belief that humanity can endure, even in the darkest hours of war. An older General Fischer, now in civilian clothes, exits a bus. He carries a small suitcase. This is the America he's chosen to return to. A new life in the country that showed him mercy when he expected death. He looks up at the blue sky, smiles, and walks toward his future.